You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 217. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnard, also known as Coco, Brainiac's pet monkey.
Yay!
I love Coco.
Me too. We'll talk about him later. Comic Reflections is brought to you by The Outhouse. You can find our show and other super nifty content at theouthousers.com. That was weird how I said content. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
That was weird. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I'm totally blowing the opening. I don't care. If you enjoy our show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. And please, if you dig it a bunch, take the time to rate and review us on iTunes. That really helps us out a lot. Comic Reflections is recorded at the library of Warner Pacific College in Portland, Oregon. Isn't that a thing you don't care about? So today we're going to talk... Oh, the top of the show, I'm going to plug another podcast.
Okay.
There's a show it's pretty new. It started this spring. It's called, Comics in the Golden Age.
Mm-hmm.
And surprise, it's all about Golden Age comics.
Hey, they're getting our territory.
Well, we really cover
know,
Silver and Bronze Age. But it's a quality show, and it's getting better all the time.
Cool.
I listen to it. They do it like every 2 weeks, like a couple of slackers. No,
Yeah.
But, this show comes out with 3 episodes every week because I'm a stud of audio. Or whatever, or other reasons. But, yeah. But anyway, that's a good show, and you should listen to it. But Jeff and I are going to talk about some Silver Age Superman.
Oh, man.
Ain't it cool?
Yes, it is.
All right. So the first story we're going to talk about is it's from Action Comics number 241, which is cover dated June of 1958. And the cover is penciled by Curt Swan and inked by Stan K. And we get this great image of Superman and the giant key to the Fortress of Solitude, and this is the beginning of that.
It's a wrong key.
Yeah, they change it later. The one that looks like what is it?
It looks like an arrow. And
Yeah.
then it's supposedly, and they did have these things, arrows that would tell airplanes where to go.
Yeah.
This is the way to go. So,
Yay.
I guess that's pretty clever, but it's sort of, it's so big that only Superman could carry it. So.
Right. And, some of these elements are introduced, they get refined. We'll be introduced to Brainiac in this, and he, in later stories, is not at all like we see him here. So lots of this stuff kind of gets tweaked later on. But yeah, this story is called The Super Key to Fort Superman, and it was written by Jerry Coleman, penciled by Wayne Boring, and inked by Stan K.
Yeah. I love the splash panel. Superman is riding on this 20-foot high diary of metal with his heat vision. He's just sitting there like the king of the world. It's really great.
And it's great to think about Superman is he could be the king of the world, but he doesn't want to be.
He has a lot of majesty to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
of course he's Superman.
Yeah. Okay. And we love him.
I do, man.
Oh God, yeah. This Superman is the best of DC. In last episode, we did Fantastic Four, which is best of Marvel.
Yeah,
and
they're the Superman books of the Silver Age and Fantastic Four Silver Age. It's the best 2 series really of that period.
Yeah,
hands down. I mean, and we're talking an awesome time to be reading comics.
Yeah.
So high praise for both.
And they're very different. Superman's very square, and which I think is part of his charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the squareness of DC Comics.
I do too.
Because they're so wild because they're like, well, let's do something fanciful or whatever, and it just is just this bonkers stuff.
Yeah, like a crazy thing happened to like Howie Mandel is not as interesting as something happening to
Jimmy Olsen or Superman.
I'm talking about a crazy person like Howie Mandel. I'm crazy, or Jerry Lewis would not be as interesting as happening to somebody square. And I'm trying to think of a square person.
Think of somebody who's square, and then something weird happens to them.
Yeah,
that's more interesting.
We're talking about Flash.
John Candy.
No,
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is kind of square.
Pre-show we were talking about.
Yeah,
Flash.
pre-show. Yeah,
Flash.
And something interesting happened to him is more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's having to what is it? He has to grapple with this weirdness. If you're already weird, it's already done. Hey, oh, it's weird, and I'm weird. Hey, it's already done. So,
but yeah, these characters are super straight, and then weird things happen to them.
Yeah,
off the wall stuff, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's a great formula that DC was working with this, and the Weisinger era of Superman as an editor, it's just brilliant. You know, he had all these terrific people working under him, and he created a fantastic mythology with Superman. Yeah. So,
okay, all right, we see Clark, who is really Superman.
Oh.
And with Jimmy and Lois, and Lois sees this wonderful necklace, pearl necklace, and oh, did I say Jim? Lois sees the necklace. Jimmy sees a super sports car, and when Clark says, "Oh, I'll fix that," because they can't afford those things, and
right on a reporter's salary.
Yeah, so Superman goes out and gets a lot of pearls for the pearl necklace, and then he gets his super key that weighs tons, and no one else can lift to open up the Fortress of Solitude. Although it's not Fortress, it's Fort Superman. I think.
Yeah, I mean they'll change it to the Fortress of Solitude later.
Okay. Here it is, the Secret Fortress of Solitude.
Now the name Fortress of Solitude, that's totally swiped from Doc Savage, who had a Fortress of Solitude.
Are you kidding?
I am not kidding.
I had no idea.
Now you do.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff, great ideas from comics, they're swiped from the pulps. I mean, and the pulps birthed comics. So, I mean, I think it's great. Take things from the pulps, please. So.
Some pulps are great.
And many people who wrote comics were pulp writers.
Yeah. Or pulp fans.
Including, keep talking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going into the Fortress of Solitude. He puts the key up in the key holder. I guess it's a super key holder.
Yeah.
And we see Lois Lane's room, where we see what is up with Superman and these weird trophies. So it's a whole DC type of thing.
Yeah.
Let's have a trophy room.
Or Batman a fan club.
Yeah. Although fan clubs would be real. There would be a Superman fan club.
But there's so many stories dedicated, or parts of stories dedicated to so-and-so's trophies of their exploits or whatever, or souvenirs, gifts that they get.
It's kind of a human thing to do, but it's kind of... they take it to an extreme.
It's a weird thing to focus on in a comic book when you should be getting on with crap instead of looking at my coin collection.
Yeah.
And
Batman has that big penny, which I've never read that story.
I have.
And the dinosaur, which I think I have read that one. And
it's funny, in the story, the dinosaur wasn't a T-Rex. It was it was an island of robot dinosaurs. And in the first... Originally, he took it was like a robot brontosaurus, but then later it just ended up being the T-Rex because of reasons.
Yeah. T-Rex is just scarier. But, okay. And everyone loves brontosauruses. Yeah. And I don't care what they call it now, a patasaurus. It's still a brontosaurus. So shut up, science. I disagree.
Yeah.
So, Superman has a Lois Lane room with a statue... or something, or Lois Lane.
With her mom hair.
Yeah, that has never been sexy.
No. And you look at that now, it's like, she looks like a middle-aged lesbian. Like, what? What is the appeal here?
Yeah. Although it was...
Not to say anything bad about lesbians, but, like if you're a heterosexual male like Superman, what? Huh?
Yeah, exactly. There's something else. I think Lois is her getting in trouble, and her spunk really attracts Superman. Maybe.
Okay.
I think
she's a very Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore could have been an excellent Lois Lane, a believable one.
Yeah. Very. True.
More so than what was the gal from the '50s show?
Oh, I thought she did a great. I thought that she was a perfect Lois Lane.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've seen her, but she acted like Lois Lane.
Okay.
And looked like Lois Lane. So
I think Mary Tyler Moore is she's got the personality and she's a nice looking lady. At least back in the days of the Mary Tyler Moore show. You get the best of both worlds there.
There was a movie, some Mike Gunn or Private Eye, and she was in it, but all you saw were her legs.
Really?
Yeah. and she was the receptionist.
Yeah.
And man, that's the golden age of TV right there.
Okay.
But okay, so we have Lois Lane's room, we have Jimmy Olsen's room. Yay, and Superman makes a sports car out of scratch. And
Like from
from scratch, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great. And yeah, that would be a wonderful gift. The problem with the necklace and the car, he's going to give it to them in his will. So when Superman dies, I hear this cool stuff.
Oh, you mean never?
Yeah.
Because he's Superman.
Yeah, and how is anyone going to get to it?
Yeah, these are good questions to ask. But also, do you think he would, like, be a dick and, like, tell them about that stuff? Well, when I die, you get this.
Yeah.
And then he never dies, duh, because he's Superman.
Mm-hmm. But it's supposedly...
Nah, he doesn't tell them. That would be real crappy of him.
Yeah, I mean, there's levels of super dickery. And we will get to one of them later.
Okay.
But yeah, that's something else.
And he's got a room dedicated to Batman.
Yeah, and he's got this robot Batman. When Superman goes, there'll be a robot Batman. I think Batman could use it now.
Yeah, like, why not just have a robot Batman program to fight crime, and then you could just monitor his activities? And then Batman could take a nap.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And the steel fist of justice.
Yeah. So, and here, Batman is the only one who knows Superman's secret identity.
Which is cool. Well, Robin knows too.
Oh. Does he?
I think.
I think that in some places he didn't.
Okay, maybe you're right. Okay. I'll have to think about that now. But okay, Batman for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he has a Clark Kent room. So if anything unexpected happened to Superman, Clark would preserve the secret of Superman's identity. And who cares? Why would you care?
If you're dead, what does it matter?
I mean,
Ma and Pa Kent are dead in the Silver Age continuity.
yeah.
So who's going to be hurt to for villains to get revenge on?
Yeah. Well, the people who say, "Oh crap!" Of course it was Clark. What am I, stupid? I should have known all the time. Yeah, and Mama Lang would be happy. No, I knew it.
Right.
So,
She'd lord that over Lois.
yeah. So now he's painting a really cool Martian landscape, and there's these plants with hands growing out of it, and it's kind of, I don't know, this is weird for 50s, and they are weird and cool.
Yeah.
So, and then he works with Kryptonite, in his lead outfit, which looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. It looks kind of like an old-timey diver suit, but also real kind of, pulpy science fiction-y of the version of the future. So clunky, but awesome.
Yeah. I'm wondering if... we were looking at these in black and white, but I'm wondering if...
Yeah, we're going from the showcase volumes.
Yeah. I was wondering if that looks better because it's in black and white.
That could be. I had some paperback books of 50s, 60s, Silver Age Superman books, and it was in black and white. Loved it. Great.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So, Superman leaves the fortress after... the way he spends time, wastes time doing experiments and painting and all this stuff,
Right.
Yeah. Well,
for a guy who's protects the world, that's should you be having hobbies like all this stuff? What about saving people?
Yeah. I mean, he needs his downtime, and he's a super genius, so he needs something to,
Yeah, I mean, I like all this stuff, but I just think, how many people are drowning and stuff?
He can't save everybody, and,
yeah. He can hear them dying, right?
Maybe. Well, he's probably...
Maybe the fortress is insulated so he can, have, an escape from that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because people are going to die. He's not going to be able to help people with cancer and all that stuff.
Oh, right.
He tries to help people. Although he does a lot of stuff in Metropolis, which he'd be better off. He could be saving a ferry sinking in Japan instead of putting a house fire out in Metropolis. But it's really a big problem of his, and he can't be everywhere at the same time, and he can't save everybody, and I'm sure it preys upon him, and that's why we like Superman. But Superman leaves the Fortress Solitude, and he goes to it. And this is really important because he got an urgent message from a scientist. Superman, I invented this new metal. Can you break it? And I was like,
yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, and he does. You know, man, Consumer Reports is really tough back then. I don't know, what is it? Can it withstand Superman, this new stuff? And I mean, what kind of scientific crap is that?
Right. Mm-hmm. That's funny.
All right. Superman comes back and someone wrote a note
in the fortress.
Mm-hmm. Which I can barely. I was wondering. It's in that little script where you're not supposed to be able to read it.
Yeah.
Kind of, but you can. You just got to stare at it.
Yeah. It's clear enough, but yeah.
Yeah.
What is the message?
Prepare for the greatest puzzle of your career, Superman. I can enter and leave at will. Who am I? How can I do it? I dare you to find out. And this really worries Superman.
Right? Because how did somebody get into the fortress, yo?
Mm-hmm. And he's looking around and says, could it be Lex Luthor? No. Let's see. One of these bubbling colored crystals from Planet X. Is it possible they release some alien powerful form of life that's mocking me? I wonder.
Wow, that's a weird place to go right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could one of my creatures in my zoo be sentient?
And Superman's zoo is really old-timey and not very humane. It's like these animals don't have room to move around.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's improved now. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they're secure because some of them are pretty nasty.
Yeah.
A glass. Let's see. A metal-eating shrew. Which we'll see pretty soon.
Yeah.
Or a mole, something like that.
It was a mole. Yeah.
Yeah. Would be bad news. So.
Yeah.
What happened to my car? A mole ate it. So,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised Superman doesn't have his zoo like on the moon or somewhere, or like Mars, where like it's not gonna be a risk for people.
Yeah, but I can keep an eye on it, I guess. So,
yeah, and they use those animals as plot devices.
Right.
So,
yeah. Forbidden weapons of crimedom, man.
Oh, it's just another thing he's got of crimedom.
Yeah.
That's a word now.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
Crimedom? That's weird.
Maybe it is. I'd have to look that up. Okay. So, all right. Well, Superman gets back to what's important and destroys a piece of metal. So that was nothing. So he takes his finger and writes on a metal diary.
In Kryptonese.
Yeah.
In the splash panel, he did it with his heat vision.
Right. I thought that was cooler.
Yeah, but I've seen him write and stuff with his fingernail too.
So, all right. So he seals off the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
And then he leaves first. So then he goes and puts out a fire. Let's see. He comes back. He boring a hole through the ground to get into the fortress.
Okay.
And someone has drawn in his painting.
Man. Dang it.
It's weird. Utterly weird. Yep. I can't. That's what you can say that about Superman.
Yeah.
And he's playing this cool robot chess, which is something, I don't know, when do they have computers playing chess? Maybe
I don't know.
Early. Maybe it's earlier than this, but...
I don't know, because computers playing chess, not in the 50s. Think about it. Computers took up entire rooms.
No, that'd be one thing they'd wanted. That's one of the first things they did.
But here's the thing. Computers took up entire rooms to do simple calculations like we have on a calculator. Playing chess is more complex.
I think Pong was invented in the 60s. The very first Pong.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's a cool robot, though.
Yeah.
Playing chess. Let's see. Okay, so Superman starts having nightmares, and it's a really cool looking nightmare. And
yeah.
The last time we ever seen Superman have a nightmare, I think.
The last time?
I don't know if I've ever seen him having a nightmare.
Well, I'm sure
maybe
we'll have it.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to rule it out. This is 1958. I'm sure he's had nightmares in other stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's an occasional trope to be mined.
Yep. Okay.
Because it's something that everybody experiences.
Mm-hmm. All right. Superman lifts a huge liner.
An ocean liner?
Yeah. And goodness.
And this is in the fortress still?
No, he's.
Oh, he went and did
next
some
day.
super feat.
His
Okay.
super chores.
Wow.
So he goes back. He bores a hole back into the Fortress of Solitude, and someone left him another note, and I know who your secret identity is. And then Superman sees some wax on the floor and says, Then we get an earthquake, and a huge thing of kryptonite comes down, and Batman runs out and says, "Oh, is this a gag for your birthday?" And
yeah, duh. And I think I guessed right off the bat that it was Batman.
I'd read it before. I don't think I did.
Okay.
So
I hadn't read it before. This is my first time reading this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. Batman.
Yeah. So Batman says, "Oh, you can't. We're closing. You can't take the kryptonite far enough away. I'll be weakened anyway, so we're gonna die." So Batman's kind of, "Oh, I'm sorry. It was all a joke."
Right.
And
but Superman's playing a joke on Batman.
Yep. Batman was kind of clever. He bores a hole into the key, so that when the key is put in the system, he gets in.
Oh,
That's how he
yeah.
got
Superman puts in a key, and that's how Batman gains entrance to the fortress. Pretty clever.
Yeah. There's a statue of Batman, and Batman gets on the statue, and he hides behind the bad penny because it's made out of lead.
Weird.
Which I didn't know. So,
of course.
Yeah. Okay. So, and because it was his anniversary coming to Earth.
That's why Batman did all this crap.
Yeah, and he was looking for a puzzle. So, I'll make my own puzzle. So, and Superman takes it with
he takes it in stride.
Yeah, I'd have kicked Batman's ass. I really would.
It's really a jerkwad thing to do that.
It is super dickery on Batman. But he does make him this huge cake. I mean, the cake is as big as a Cadillac or something like that.
Yeah, and it's weird the candles alternatingly have the face of Superman or the face of Clark.
Yeah.
Which is creepy.
Yeah, he said, I think to myself, I hope you don't need super strength to cut it. I says, don't worry, I can eat solids too. Which doesn't show much faith in Batman's cooking ability.
Right. Well, here's the thing. How did Batman bake a giant cake and get it in there? I love that Superman. It's a comic book. I forgot. And Superman's got this giant steak knife he's holding, which is really funny.
Yeah. It's about 30 feet long.
Yeah. So let's talk about this next story. It comes from Superman number 122, cover dated July of 1958. And the cover is penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by Stan K. Can we look at that cover for a sec, Jeff?
Oh.
And on it's about the super sergeant. Superman has got some competition with, an enlisted man.
Yeah.
In the army.
Yep. They're Great Scott. I've always loved Great Scott. I need to use that more often.
So that's one of the stories we're going to talk about on this episode, but that's not the lead feature. It's a backup.
Mm-hmm.
The first story we'll talk about from this issue is called The Secret of the Space Souvenirs, and it was written by Otto Binder with art by Al Plastino.
Again with the souvenirs. What is it? What do they say about souvenirs? All right. So
I love everything about the Silver Age, but that may be one of the things come on.
I don't mind it. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Superman gets this compulsion to get souvenirs, so he gets musical mineral from Saturn.
Oh, but it's to give to these scientists to put in a time capsule. That's important.
For the 50th century, for crying out loud.
5,000 years in the future. Yeah, you got plenty of time, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
And they say, well, we got room for this stuff. So he gets, I don't want to go through all this, but he gets a Horus from Uranus.
It was a fossilized horse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
not from my anus.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist.
Oh.
Well, I should have, but...
Yeah. Superman is back on Earth. He's helping these... he's giving these orphans a good show. Well, there's only about 6 of them, okay. And so couldn't they get a bunch more orphans together? So
I don't know, but how many orphans do you really want to fit in one panel?
right.
Okay.
So then he gets this compulsion and leaves them, and the kids, oh, what a jip! Superman made a big iron bar into a pretzel. Crying out loud!
Superman made time for you, orphan kid.
Yeah.
Like you're important.
Yeah.
Not.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he gets these giant snowflakes, which is the size of a wagon wheel. They're pretty cool.
Where does he go to get those?
He goes to
like Titan or
Pluto.
someplace. Oh, Pluto. Giant snowflakes. That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Then he goes to Earth and gets a...
I've heard of that place.
Yeah, I have too. He gets a solid gold Atlantean flying saucer.
What?
Yeah. And then Lois says, hey, you go to Rhea next and Mars and all that stuff.
Yeah, she's true.
So, Rhea is, where is it? It's one of the moons of Saturn. Oh, you knew that.
Yeah, no.
No, neither did I.
I know
some.
I know there's Ganymede, which is the coolest name of a moon.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's
Titania.
Titan. Titan's a rad moon.
Yeah.
Kurt Vonnegut had that book.
Hyperion is a cool name.
Hyperion? Yeah. Hyperion was the Superman analog in the Squadron Supreme.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
But
Ganymede, Europa, and Io. That's pretty cool.
Europa. So anyway, Lois is onto the pattern of what this is about. Okay. Superman isn't.
Right. Which is odd, but you'll see why. So he gets he goes to Rhea and gets a tree, a knotted tree. Then he goes to Mars, gets a statue of a Martian. And it turns out it spells Superman. So.
Okay. Oh yeah, from the first letter of all the places he goes.
Ariel, where's Ariel from?
From above.
Oh, it's another planet of Uranus. And it's a rainbow flower. Neptune has a stone Superman. He helped them out before. They made a statue of him.
Right.
So they found out that there's this guy from the 50th century who wants all these trophies and to commemorate Superman. Okay. It's kind of...
And so how did he get Superman to do it anyway? He mind controlled him or something?
Oh, yeah, with, got mental commands across the time barrier to your mind powered by kryptonite so that you were forced to obey.
Wow, if you want to pay tribute to Superman, that's kind of a lousy thing to do to him.
Yeah.
Make him do all this crap, travel across the whole solar system.
Mm-hmm. Superman says, okay, I won't tell anybody about this because people think I'm conceited because in the 50th century they want to learn about me. And then Lois says, I bet it's some plan by Superman just to get interest for him. And so Superman's like, I can't win. So,
it's like, really? Superman needs to try to get people interested in him? He is Superman.
Yeah. I mean, Superman can buy a newspaper and get a song written about him.
Yeah, it's like, today Superman came and bought up papers from me, whatever. I hate when I do that, but I just did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very true. I mean, thanks. Let's talk about the next story.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Superman in the White House.
Yeah.
It was written by Otto Binder with art by Al Plastino. This story is awesome.
Yes, it is.
This might be my favorite story that we read for this episode. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
There's one other that's pretty rad and very important.
Yeah. All right. So Perry White is giving for it's President's Day. No, it's Patriots Day. Huh.
Oh, okay. Patriots Day isn't a real day.
Because President's Day
used to be Patriots Day?
No, Patriots Day. It used to be Abraham Lincoln's birthday and George Washington's birthday, but they made Martin Luther King Day, so they couldn't have. So they
Mona the King?
Martin Luther King.
Oh, Martin Luther King. Sorry, you were mumble-fying and I didn't hear you.
Sorry. And the folks out in the ether sphere.
Yeah.
So they changed. That's how they got President's Day.
Oh, okay. Because I know they used to be two separate holidays, and they kind of combined
That
it.
happened in the 80s.
So they called it Patriots Day, and then they changed it to President's Day?
There was no Patriots Day. Not that I know about.
Okay, well, anyway, whatever. We'll say President's Day. He assigns Jimmy and Lois and Clark presidents to write a thing about in the paper. As like it's like your fourth grade, like assignment over the weekend or whatever.
Right, yeah, it does seem like that. Although...
What do they call it that you write a theme?
Yeah. Something, yeah.
Yeah.
What you did last summer.
Yeah,
like that.
but that's what they call those little reports. You must write a theme.
Oh God. Okay. So,
like 100 years ago.
Jimmy. So Perry says, Jimmy, just choose one, and Jimmy said, "Oh, all the other ones not as famous as Washington and Lincoln," which is what Clark and Lois get.
Yeah. So Jimmy, what does he hit his head on something?
Yeah, he's
straightening a picture of Superman, and it falls on him.
As he's thinking, wouldn't it be great if Superman was president? And he dreams that it is. So yay!
And then we get to see that Jimmy's dream about Superman being elected president, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And I was really, how can Clark Kent be vice president? Oh, for crying out loud, Jimmy doesn't know if Clark Kent is Superman.
Right.
Duh.
That's nice. That's really nice that Jimmy thinks that highly of Clark.
Yeah.
In his subconscious or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or unconscious, whatever. I don't know. Brains.
Right.
Brains are a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I love Jimmy's dreaming there's smoke, and then you see what's happening.
Right. Like on old television shows, you see like the fog to let you know it's a dream.
Yeah. All that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Superman's elected, and he has about let's see, a dozen clerks busy because he's signing official documents at super speed.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar did that. He had about 3 or 4 clerks at the same time writing down what he's thinking.
That's cool.
And it was kind of amazing. No one else could do that because they're writing on styluses and all that. And, and he was writing something too. But so it's not unprecedented. So Superman goes out to the park and he gets attacked by about 4 guys. And he's invulnerable. And Clark sees that from the window and says, "Well, I'm useless because you'll never die, so I'll never
be president."
Yeah.
That's not all that a vice president does. Just wait for the president to get killed.
Yeah, you're president of the Senate. Yeah. But you really don't do much as vice president. So.
But still, like, why would you sit? And it's kind of like it's a high profile, relatively cush job with influence. Shut up, Clark.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Secret Service resigned too, and then Jimmy says, "No. What about kryptonite?"
And magic.
Yeah.
Of course, what can the Secret Service do about magic?
But they're looking for kryptonite.
Right.
Okay. Clark finds Jimmy, and Jimmy's talking in his sleep, and so Clark realizes he's talking about the president being Superman. He says, "Well, that could never happen," and then we'll find out why. So Superman does presidential things, like he goes to a meeting and he flies everybody there in his plane, saving gas. Which I thought was kind of cool.
It is cool, but like, wow, Superman goes to a meeting. That's exciting.
And then goes to the Washington Senators. Those don't exist anymore.
Oh, was it a ball team?
Yeah, it was.
I remember the Washington Generals, so they'd fight the Harlem Globetrotters. Not fight them, but
Yeah.
Play sports ball against them.
Yeah. Washington Senators. I think they were in the play Damn Yankees, which I saw.
I remember the rock group Damn Yankees, featuring Ted Nugent and Tommy Shaw and some other guys.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think one of the guys from Night Ranger. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So he throws a ball from Washington.
Yeah, it's Brad Gillis from Night Ranger. Anyway.
And he throws it to Japan, and they're opening up their baseball team as well.
They have done that more than once in a Superman story, because I read a different story where he throws out opening pitch on a Japanese ball game.
Baseball was the sport this time.
Yeah,
because it is fairly cheap.
Yeah,
people played it.
And it was a good way to tell if somebody was a commie or not, if they liked baseball or not. You know, you don't like baseball? What are you, a commie? String them up.
Well,
That's how it was in the Cold War, folks.
Actually,
you had to
they
watch
used-
sports balls or be, strung up as a comic.
Man, I've been strung up. In World War II, during the Battle of the Bulge, there were some German infiltrators, and they figured out who was who by asking baseball questions.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Well, one general didn't know who Lou Gehrig had married, and he was almost shot by the troops because they were really panicking. So.
Right.
Um,
Did they shoot those guys?
The infiltrators, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I figured. Okay.
So Jimmy said, "Hey, the budget's really bad. It's $387 million, which
In deficit, and I'm like, wow, that's like a drop in the bucket of what a deficit is now.
yeah." So I knew this was an imaginary story because he solves his budget deficits.
Right. How does Superman do it again?
He finds a sunken treasure.
Of course, a treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean. That'll solve it. 350.
$387 million.
Jeez.
I can see a treasure chest being $100 million
Yeah.
because you're not. It's just not gold. It's
That it's an
500
artifact.
years. It's 500 years old coins and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and huge diamonds. So.
Doubloons.
Yeah. So there's already he christens a ship named after him, which was hilarious. And it's a destroyer, which is kind of small. It's one of the smallest ships you can get.
Sure.
Which was
And then we see Superman on stamps and on money.
yeah.
He is on stamps.
Oh, that's right. He is.
He's been on stamps.
That'd be on money too. That'd be cool.
That'd be the greatest, right?
Yeah.
We should have Captain America on the on money.
That'd be cool. Cool. Okay. All right. So Clark wakes up Jimmy, and he said, "I'm going to write about Superman being president." He said, "You can't do that. Superman was not a native-born citizen.
Yeah.
You got to be native-born to be president."
Yeah, he wasn't even born on Earth, let alone America.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, as Clark, he could, because people think Clark was born,
That'd be a
Kansas.
lie. So,
Well, yeah, but, stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
that's a fun story. I like it a lot.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the Super Sergeant, which was our cover story. This was written by Otto Binder. He wrote the whole issue. Good job.
Mhm.
Penciled by Wayne Boring and inked by Stan Kay.
Okay. All right. This soldier gets up and he's got superpowers, and because he's bashing his head on the ceiling and jumping and all that, and he's taking a shower in boiling water and doesn't affect him. Man, you can get boiling water in a shower? Man, I would not like that.
No, I wouldn't like that either.
That'd be painful.
That's weird how they could. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. How do you get the water source hot?
And he heats up his cereal with his X-ray vision.
Yeah, like I like my Cheerios heated.
No, they're probably eating oatmeal or something.
Probably.
All right. Superman's wearing this. We jump back in the time. Superman's wearing a radio helmet.
Right.
And helmet radio, excuse me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it looks awesome. He's always so serious wearing this ridiculous thing. I love it. This is what I love about DC Comics this time. And he gets hit by lightning. And the lightning makes a lightning-shaped Superman hit a soldier who glows in the dark.
Yeah, so the lightning and the radio helmet transmitted some of Superman's powers to this soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay.
So the soldier doesn't know how to use his superpowers, which would be a big thing.
Right, you would have to learn how to use them.
And he's throwing one of these trash cans, almost knocks down a helicopter. He lifts up a tank, and
He farts and he killed a guy.
yeah,
Just kidding.
Yeah, maybe. So,
Gosh, that's bad.
yeah, it is. Okay.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So Perry White hears about it. So go join, be an honorary soldier, and meet up with Private Jones. So
Yeah. Private Jones is the super soldier.
So General needs. We'll have this sad sack Clark Kent compared to the super soldier and show how bad he is, or how great the super soldier is, not knowing that Clark Kent is actually Superman. So.
Well, how funny. But also, like, you could just show the guy doing super feats and, like, wow, that's impressive. Like, you don't need to have a guy that sucks next to him to, like, make it look more
Although-
cool. You know what I mean?
Although, okay, so I tell you, I can make 1,000 widgets because I am super powered.
Because you took an economics class. Widgets.
Yeah, but then,
Yeah.
but you don't know, is that good or bad? I don't know. Is that a lot? But if you have somebody regular making widgets and they only make 100 widgets, and they're pretty good. You're 10 times better. But if he makes 980.
But it's
widgets,
peeling to potatoes. Like, people know how much that time takes.
well, at least mothers do. Yeah, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
Which I just slice them. I leave the skins, yo.
I like the skins. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's like, I want the crust cut off my peanut butter and jelly. Like,
I did way back, but then I'm.
but you know what I mean.
Too
That's
rough,
what I
yeah.
think peeling potatoes is like. Like, why are you cutting off that good stuff?
Yeah, if you're making mashed potatoes or a potato salad, maybe.
Oh, you like, especially red potatoes with the skins is awesome.
Okay. All right, so Super Soldier is doing super soldiery things. They shoot him with a bazooka and doesn't do anything. He's still making mistakes, and so Superman is going around trying to fix those. Clark was angry. Oh, how am I going to do this if I'm going to be Clark Kent there? How am I going to keep an eye on him? So, well, you do that kind of thing anyway. So, who knows? So.
Yeah. This is one of those stories where it's like, why Superman is going along with this is weird and kind of roundabout.
Okay. All right, but there are 2 PX spies. They're civilian PX employees.
But they're commies and they, yeah.
Which is not a bad idea.
What? Oh, no, as a plot point? No, it's fine.
And I mean, not a bad real life point. And I think in Vietnam, the Viet Cong usually made like barbers be not the barbers for the American soldiers were Viet Cong.
Oh, okay.
And so stuff like that. So you'll hear a lot of stuff in the PX, I would think.
Well, sure.
All right. So Superman lets the spies go because he lets them find out, which is not true, that there are going to be a lot of super soldiers, and so they take that news back to their evil kingdom or whatever. And then he goes and gets rid of the superpowers of the soldier. So, and the end.
Okay. And the commies were fooled into thinking that we could transmit Superman's powers into any soldier. So better not mess with the good old US of A, man.
Well, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great, defense against the commies. Whoa, ugh. The power of Superman.
Yeah.
So, the last story we're going to talk about today. This is so important and it's so great. This is from Action Comics number 242, which is cover dated July of 1958. The cover is penciled by Kurt Swan, inked by Stan K. And this cover, it's Superman and Brainiac. This story is the first appearance of Brainiac.
Yeah, and it's actually the cover of the showcase.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And I like that. I'm like, give Brainiac his due.
Yeah, he's cool.
We haven't seen Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
he's
we
been
have not
mentioned.
seen Brainiac in the movies.
No, I just meant in these stories.
I know. I'm talking about give Brainiac his due because it's great. Why haven't we seen him in the
I know.
movies?
Superman 3 was going to be Brainiac and Mxyzptlk. But the Salkinds saw that stupid interview with Richard Pryor on The Tonight Show or something, talking about Superman the movie, how much he liked it, and they're like, let's have Richard Pryor instead. Yeah, that's a
Why
great...
they make Richard Pryor to Mxyzptlk? You don't have to be white to be Mxyzptlk.
No.
And you can be teeny tiny wearing a derby and being all... that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. But I would have loved to have seen... And in the 80s, I think they would have done... Mxyzptlk would have been very fun.
Yeah.
And Brainiac, I think, it would have been cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Disappointing. But yeah, Brainiac has been in no movies, and he's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they get the name from ENIAC, the computer. So, they're one of the first.
Oh, I thought it was like Brain Maniac, like
no.
intellect.
ENIAC. It's a computer. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See, stick with me, and you'll find out something, kid.
Okay, but remember when we read the story where it was the Luthor and Brainiac team up, and that was after years of stories were revealed where Brainiac was an android, and we didn't know that he was a robot for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, the story we're going to talk about is called The Super Duel in Space.
Yeah.
And this was written by Otto Binder with art by Al Plastino.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brainiac on the cover is the classic Brainiac as you know him.
Oh, yeah.
But in the story, he looks a lot different. And I think he'll only look... He just looks like a green mad scientist.
Why'd they do that?
I don't know. I think maybe the story was completed first and they did the cover later. Maybe.
Yeah.
And like realized that looks cooler and more dynamic.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's, because otherwise Brainiac is just a skinny Lex Luthor in outer space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
I like that his two super foes are both like it's about the intellect.
Right.
Even though Brainiac could fight Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he's invulnerable.
Well, yeah, he's got the force field.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. The first ships going into outer space from Earth with human beings on them contains Clark and Lois.
What?
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah. It's the same thing earlier with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, with our last episode.
It wasn't as formal.
Right. And 1958, this is like 3 years before the beginning of the Fantastic Four, and we had we're getting into space around that time. It's still in, Rocky Jones Space Ranger territory,
Yeah.
We still don't really know, like, all the stuff.
And it's into lots of explorers in the last hundreds of years were, they're usually rich, but they would just go off and fund themselves, or get some buddies to go along.
Yeah, and I think when space travel was like we were, like it's going to happen, soonish. Mm-hmm. We're having that old style mentality of like, well, why don't we just build a rocket and go?
Yeah. Although it would be interesting to send up a reporter or an artist, or
sure.
And although I don't know if reporters are cool like Lois Lane and Clark Thompson.
Are they cool? No,
they're not cool, but they're so square they're cool or something. I don't know.
Anyway, they're the leads in this series, so of course they're gonna go.
Yeah,
that's the real answer.
All right, so they go up in outer space, and here comes Brainiac and Coco. Does Coco?
I don't remember Coco showing up again, but Coco is a little monkey, and he's really cute, and he has antennae.
Yeah, no, and he gets his own cereal.
Oh, I would love to see Coco and Beppo the Super Monkey together.
Oh, man, yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, all right, people in the spaceship are nervous, so Clark gets on a spacesuit and runs out on him and goes back to Earth. So, yeah, okay. But actually, he puts his stuff in a passing asteroid, hides his civilian gear, and comes out and he goes out to the flying saucer.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's Brainiac's ship, yeah.
And he can't do anything about it because it's got that force field.
Right.
So then Brainiac seems a little goofy here. I'm gonna take these cities and make them small and put them in a glass jar.
Yeah, in these bell jars, which are so great. Again, really pulpy.
Mm-hmm.
And Otto Binder wrote for the pulps.
Yeah. Coco he's looking over his shoulder, and he looks so serious at him, and it's just so cute.
Yeah, Coco's adorable.
Yeah. Okay, so Brainiac is looking at because he gets Metropolis and Paris, and he takes these big tongs
and crushes bridges and stuff.
Oh, he's got him by accident or something like that. And he's looking at the Eiffel Tower. This is such primitive structures.
He kind of looks like Dr. Savannah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
All right, so
Otto Binder wrote tons of stories about. Otto Binder wrote like half of the original classic Captain Marvel stories.
I'll be darned.
There's your answer. That's why he looks like this. I'm sure they changed it. I mean, obviously he didn't draw it, but it's he's a bit Savannah in this first outing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, Superman tries to beat up Brainiac, and nothing works.
Because he got this force field, and Brainiac's laughing at him. He calls him Puny Man, which is great.
So Clark goes to Metropolis and becomes small, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. So they put the cork on on the Metropolis. Because
Bottle.
he was big. Now it's. I thought Metropolis was made smaller before the fight, but I guess not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, Superman's there and he's small.
Yeah.
That's what's
So
important.
he gets out by pushing because he still has super strength.
Yeah. And
Looks like he studies what's going on, and
he learns the controls in Brainiac's ship
yeah,
because he wants to know how to like enlarge the stuff again.
right. And Brainiac notices something flying around because it looks like a fly, so he sends Beppo with a fly swatter.
Coco.
against it. Coco. Okay.
Sorry, I said Beppo, and now
Yeah.
you're gonna do it. I'm sorry.
But I love that.
Yeah.
So he's trying to figure out. So he
Can
goes.
you imagine a fly on a spaceship?
That'd be bad.
Yeah.
So he goes into Kandor. Oh my God, it's Krypton.
Kryptonian. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big reveal. I'm like, oh, this is several really important elements. We get Brainiac, we get the Bottle City of Kandor.
Mhm.
This is really important.
And you get the metal-eating mole, which
Yeah.
he uses to escape.
Which is an animal in the in the Kandor Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Let's establish that.
Yeah.
But he uses that to. They use it because he's in Kandor. He's lost his powers. So
Right.
they send a rocket with a needle point up to the cork,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes through the cork, and then he has the mole eat its way through
Right.
the rocket, and so then Superman's able to get out.
Um,
Man, it's convoluted.
yeah, it does. So he brings back Paris, brings back Metropolis and all other cities.
But then there's not enough power. Oh yeah, Brainiac goes into stasis or something.
Yeah, which is useful, I guess.
Yeah, and so he's like, oh, I don't have enough power to shrink to return Kandor back to its proper size.
Or-
You're on a spaceship traveling to another galaxy or whatever. Can't you charge it up for a little while and then, before you go back? And
Yeah.
then raise it back? But having an entire city of Kryptonians on Earth would be lots of story problems.
Yeah. Mhm.
So saying there's not enough juice.
But the cool thing is, and it gives him. So I want to sacrifice himself and let Kandor be embiggened. And Kandor comes out with a little rocket ship and hits the button, making Superman embiggened.
Right, because he was thinking, I'll sacrifice myself and I'll stay small. And he was going to shrink. That's right, because he restored all the cities, and then he had enough juice to restore himself.
Or
Except Kandor. Yeah.
Or Kandor.
That's what it was.
So
Okay.
he was choosing Kandor. Kandor chose Superman.
Yeah.
And so now Superman is honor-bound.
To try to restore Kandor.
And I love that story. And that's a great theme.
It's great. And then you always see Kandor in the
And
fortress
it's always
and stuff.
kind of bugging Superman. He can't figure out how to do it. And I always like the Kandor stories. They're pretty cool.
And when he and Jimmy go in there and they're Nightwing and Flamebird.
Mhm.
There's lots of cool things to play around with in that. And it's great.
Yeah.
We talked about this mythology, and this is lots of cool elements.
Mhm.
And Brainiac. Brainiac, another great nemesis for Superman.
Yeah.
Because he needed to have another one.
Yeah, he needs a lot of them. But okay.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, we'll see you in the funny pages.